Today I'd like to share with you my thoughts on the house of Profumum Roma. I have a big crush on this house. I love their style, I love their quality, I love the way their fragrances project, and also they have a great like variety of different fragrances, but they all have kind of the same DNA. They have a lot of depth, they have a lot of body. Once you put it on, you can kind of feel it and you can enjoy your own fragrance all day. I like that a lot about a perfume. I've had the chance to try a little bit more depth 6 fragrances that I'd like to talk about today. I've tried more like in store, but I can only really say I believe that a perfume needs to be tested several times before you can really know what you're going to think of it and if it belongs in your collection or not. Okay, so the one fragrance that I have bought, like an original bottle, is Battito D'Ali. They don't all come in this little size, like all of the fragrances. I think they probably have like 30, maybe more fragrances. And some of them come in these little 18 ml bottles, and otherwise it's all 100 ml. And this one cost $85, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, definitely, but the concentration of perfume oil in these perfumes is so high that even though they call it an EDP, I'd say this is more like an extract or something like that. So maybe you can compare the price of this with a perfume that's maybe 2 or 3 times this size. And if you look at it that way, then it's not that bad, because just a few sprays of this, then you're good to go all day long. And this one maybe doesn't project and have the longevity quite of the other ones that I'm going to talk about today, but it's still really, really good. When I smelled this, I directly felt that this really like fills a gap in my collection. I have nothing like this. I've never smelled anything like this. It has the notes of myrrh, vanilla, orange flower, cacao, and a little bit of coconut. And this thing with myrrh, I didn't really know what that was. I've heard of it. You know, the 3 wise men in the Bible, they bring this as a gift. But what does it smell like? I didn't really know. But it's been used like in products like toothpaste, and it has a very refreshing quality to it, like a little mintiness maybe. And I can definitely tell in this one. And that I don't think that it is that chocolatey, and the coconut is very subtle. It's not tropical or beachy or anything like that. It just has like a hint of something that makes it a little bit maybe nutty. It's really interesting. I don't absolutely love it. And I think if I had gone to purchase a perfume from that house today, I would have chosen one of the other ones that I'm going to discuss now. The one that I think I like the very, very most, or it's a tie between 2 of these. One is called Soavissima, and one is called Aqua de Zucchero. And the Soavissima projects like a beast. It is just gorgeous. It is iris. It is amber, and it's white florals. That's all they tell you. If you guys don't love iris, try this one anyway, because it is not... this one has so much, but it does have a little tiny coldness to it. But it's basically a very comforting, warming, big, bold, deep fragrance that projects really well and lasts all day. Absolutely stunning fragrance. And then I think that one's not so common. I don't hear as much about that one. The Aqua de Zucchero, everyone talks about, and for good reason. It is Acqua di Sale, I think, is a name. It means sugar water in Italian. And it's, I think, a misleading name. I think it's diminishing. I think it definitely is so much more than sugar water. It has, the notes that they list are orange flower, forest fruits, and vanilla. And the forest fruits, I'm not sure what that is, but maybe like different kinds of berries, maybe blueberries, something sweet anyway, to combine with the vanilla. So it does have a little bit of a candy quality. But I've heard a lot of like reviewers say that it's girly and pretty and stuff like that, but I don't agree. It's not like Delina, especially not on. Once you wear it and it settles down, it has so much, as like the other ones, depth and body. and it's darker than like Delina and not like quite that floral. This is like, I think this is much more unisex, and I feel like putting on a leather jacket, like a black leather jacket and some boots, and feel cool when I wear this. So I don't know. I mean, it's so subjective, fragrance. I really love it, and I regret not buying. They had it in these 18 mils of this one, because they have like all the best sellers they have in this smaller size. And I should have gotten that one instead, because I like it a lot more. But that's hard, it's hard to say. I thought maybe I would get bored with it, because it's like I would think it's just sweet. Because I do have a fragrance here called Dulcis in Fundo also from this house, that is a little bit more like a dessert. And when I smelled it, I was like, oh, this is good, but this is like, it reminds me of a lot of other things that I've smelled before, like Lira, a little bit like Ani, a little bit like Vaninger from Oliver & Company. It has like citruses and vanilla. That's all the notes they give you, but it's like vanilla ice cream with some, I think it was Sebastian from Smelling Great that said that it reminds him of a dessert that he had as a child. I think they poured like some kind of orange blossom water over ice cream or something, like vanilla ice cream. It's really good. It's just not as interesting as the other ones. The other ones are like bolder and bigger and deeper, I would say, more unisex. And then the last one that I have is also incredible. It's called, I just have a little sample, but this lasts a long way because it has such high potency. It's called Sorriso. And it has, I don't think I normally would put something on that has notes of chocolate, but this has dark chocolate, bitter orange, exotic woods, and I think also, yeah, vanilla. All these have vanilla except the last one I'm going to talk about that I didn't like so much. But this Sorriso is beautiful. I'm going to give it another wearing before I make up my mind that I want it in my collection. Because it is, you don't get that chocolate vibe like you want to eat it. Like it's like a cake. It's not cakey. It just has like that chocolate just to give it, it's like some like depth, I think. Okay, so the last one, the only one that I didn't like, and I've only tried it in store, but I did give it a proper wearing. I walked in and I wasn't wearing anything, and I put it on my skin. It's interesting about this, they have such high concentration of oils. You can see the oil on your skin, and they actually recommend to rub it into your skin, kind of like you would a lotion, which makes this house a little bit different than other houses. And I thought this smelled really nice and kind of filled this void in my collection. It's called Acqua di Sale, salt water. So instead of sugar water, we got salt water. And that's what it smells like. It smells like salt water. It has the notes of seaweed, myrtle, salt, and cedar. And I liked it like at first, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. I think I want to get this. I have nothing that smells like this. But then I kind of wore it all day. And it was finally making me almost nauseous because it was like, oh boy, this is really weird. And I just wanted, I've got to find a toilet so I can go in and, wash it off. And I had to scrub it off because that's how, I was like kind of like that. I don't like it at all. It kind of opened my mind up to like marine fragrances. And I did end up getting a marine fragrance the other day from a different house. I'm going to do a separate video on that. So I do now have a marine fragrance in my collection, which I really like, but it is not Acqua di Sale. I thought it was just horrible as it kind of dries down and starts to project, and it projected like crazy. So, okay, my top recommendations from this house is Acqua e Zucchero and Soavissima. Those are the two that I like the best. And then comes Sorriso, the chocolate one. And then comes my Battito D'Ali, and after that, Dulcis in Fundo. So I think basically all of these 5 are full bottle worthy, at least the 18 ml bottle. But the Acqua di Sale I don't recommend, and none of these are safe blind buys. You have to kind of get in there and try them because these are bold and potent, and you got to be into like strong, large kind of fragrances, I think, to like this. But definitely get your nose on this house because it is something special.